Morgan Bailey is a power forward for the BYU women's hoops team. She was going off in the first 2 rounds. And I said this to you yesterday, Morgan. I don't know what got into you, but whatever it is, go find it and take it again against UConn. What was happening for you where you found such great success, especially against Nebraska?
I think these games there's a lot on the line. Like, if you lose, you're done. And I don't want to be done. Love playing with Kim and Jen. Don't want their season to be done. So I think just with that on the line, I knew I had to give everything I had.
What's the best part about being in the Sweet 16?
The best thing, I think it's just knowing that we're like one of the top teams in the nation and playing against people who challenge us every time. So I don't know. I think that's what I've taken away from it so far.
18 points, 6 rebounds in a win against Nebraska on Monday. What's the mentality of the team right now? Because from our perspective, it's like, hey, we're going to go win.
You guys look loose.
That's just
really loose.
It's what we do. What's the mentality of the team right now approaching the game with UConn?
Mentality is just no fear. That's how it's been all tournament. We need to go in knowing that we're a good team, and if we do what we need to do, we can be unstoppable. So just confidence. We all have so much confidence right now.
And you guys look like that. At practice, you guys were very loose yesterday. What are you better at UConn then?
That's a good question. I just think we have a lot of weapons, I guess. When Jen's not in foul trouble or whatever, I can step up. If I'm not doing well, Jen steps up huge. If they focus on the paint, then we have Kim and Zoe, and all our guards can shoot threes. So I think that, and I think we play a lot similar to UConn in that we push the ball and we run hard, and we have post presence and guards. And I don't know, it's going to be a fun matchup. I'm so excited.
Morgan Bailey, power forward for the BYU women's basketball team, joining BYU Sports Nation with Spencer Linton and Jerem Jordan. They take on UConn on Saturday afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska. I talked to a number of your coaches and even some of your teammates. Zojan Harry specifically said, after the Gonzaga loss, something snapped. What did that loss do to unleash the awesomeness that we're witnessing right now?
Well, before the Gonzaga game, I think we were on a 9-game winning streak or something. And Gonzaga game, we just weren't working together. It was just a really frustrating experience. And I think we realized we have to play as a team and we have to play together if we want to be unstoppable. And so I think that Gonzaga game kind of set a fire under our tushes, I guess. And
everyone needs an occasional fire under the tush.
Fire under the tush.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Morgan Bailey from the women's basketball team is on BYU Sports Nation. Your uncle is Thurl Bailey. What kind of conversation have you had with Thurl about beating North Carolina State in the first round and then getting to the Sweet 16?
I haven't had an opportunity to talk to Thurl yet.
What?
I know. I should call him
he's
after
this. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, but I'm
no
sure.
No congratulatory text or anything?
No, he's so busy. And
Come on,
I was
Thurl.
busy, I know. But I'm sure he'd be happy for me. So.
And then, of course, you meet Magic Johnson. We've talked to Jeff Judkins about that, and Zojan Harry, as we learned when she came on the show.
Yeah.
Meeting Magic Johnson.
That was crazy.
What was that like?
It was crazy. I've never felt that starstruck feeling before, and this time I was like, oh, it's Magic. Can I touch him? But it was kind of funny how it happened. He just walked by where we were eating, and Kim Beeston's husband was like, oh, it's Magic. And so calm he said it, and then everyone just got out of their seats and ran after him. And
you literally got out of your seat
and
ran after
chasing him down.
Chasing down. Even Judd got out of his seat and was running after.
Wow, like in defensive position, sliding over.
Never seen that man run faster.
That is a great picture. Morgan Bailey, power forward for the BYU women's hoops team, joining us on BYU Sports Nation. You did mention that you haven't had a chance to talk to Thurl, but you did take time to troll him on Twitter after you knocked up NC State in the first round. Where did that come from, and what was said there?
I know that he was a huge factor in that team, that was Cinderella team. And so when I saw that we were playing NC State, just was like, oh, yeah, I wear his number. This is going to be fun. So after we knocked him off, and I had a pretty good game, I had to have a quick shout out to Thurl.
Absolutely. Who hasn't responded since. Maybe that's why.
Honestly.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Morgan Bailey is on BYU Sports Nation. Big matchup with Connecticut coming up on Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska. I guess, what do you expect when you get to Lincoln, around that environment? Obviously, the Nebraska fans were hoping they had Nebraska in there. But kind of one of the biggest games, maybe the biggest game in school history for you guys.
Yeah. I just, even thinking about it, my heart starts pumping. I'm just so excited. I just expect it to be kind of a dream come true a little bit. Like being in high school, you always dream of playing on such a huge stage and against great competition. And I hope Nebraska fans will kind of come our way. Nebraska's a really classy team and was great to play against. So maybe we'll be the underdog. They'll support the underdogs, I guess.
I don't think they'll go for UConn. I think you're in business.
Yes. Yeah.
When you look at the Yukon Huskies, they're clearly loaded with talent, but they're expected to win. You're not expected to win. I would imagine that when the line comes out, you're probably going to be a 20 or 25-point underdog. So using that mentality, how is that really a tangible bit of advantage for this team against the Huskies?
I think we have nothing to lose, and the Huskies have a lot to lose.
Everything.
They have to meet expectations that everyone has. We don't really have any expectations. And I think that's what fueled us this whole season. We were picked to finish 4th in WCC. We were 12th seed, and we thought maybe we should have been higher, but that's totally fine.
And how many teams are left in the tournament from the West Coast Conference, Morgan?
None.
Oh,
None
except
are.
for you.
Yep.
That's right, except for BYU. Yep. Okay, continue with your thought process. Sorry. I just wanted to point that out.
So we're okay with being underestimated. We have been underestimated this whole season. We're just going to give UConn the best we got.
Morgan Bailey is on BYU Sports Nation in studio. The New York Times comes out with an article about the BYU women's basketball team. What did you think of that article?
It was crazy. I remember getting interviewed by him, and he said, New York Times. I was like, geez, this is nice.
Sorry, did you say the Universe or the New York Times?
New York Times.
Both are awesome. One is a little bigger than the
My
other.
bad. New York Times, yeah. So it was crazy.
Okay, Morgan Bailey on BYU
Magic
Sports
Johnson.
Nation.
New York Times, Sweet 16. This is kind of a good week.
This is a great time of year. It's March, and when you have a team that's winning, it's really exciting. Have you noticed the buzz around your team? I mean, was your phone just absolutely exploding after the win? What was that
Minus
like
Thurl.
on social media and just with your friends and colleagues?
It was great to see how many fans we really do have. Like during the season, women's basketball is not that huge, which I understand why. But just after that game, when we saw how many fans we have and how many people support us, it's just great. It gives us an extra boost to keep going and represent BYU.
Women's basketball is not that huge, maybe, except on BYU Sports Nation, right?
Yes.
Like we have represented all year.
Yeah.
And you've heard of BYU Sports Nation Karma.
Yes, I have.
You've heard of this thing. Okay,
Yes.
This is a real
and
thing.
this is the perfect time for me to be on.
Yeah, yes, it is. So let's give some BYU Sports Nation Karma to Morgan Bailey
Please do.
for the Connecticut game. We're hearing the Gregorian chants.
The monks,
now have
the
it.
monks are singing. It has now been transferred. You have the mantle of the BYU Sports Nation Karma.
I want to bring up something else. I think that if you guys beat Connecticut, that this would be the biggest win in school history in any sport.
Yeah.
Bigger than football beating Miami or Oklahoma or basketball taking down Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament with Danny Ainge, all that. Mm-hmm. If you guys win, I'm going to shave my head Monday.
Okay.
And I'm going to let Jeff Judkins do it.
Like that's going to happen.
Jim, I'm going to shave my head. I'll let him do it Monday.
Anything to motivate. So yes, not only will you have the distinction of beating the number one team in the country, but you will know that Jeff Judkins can come and shave Jerem's head.
I'll do it just for that reason. We'll win just for that reason.
Awesome.
Hey, Morgan, we have a tradition here on BYU Sports Nation where we have all of the players and coaches sign our Rise Up BYU Sports Nation flag. So can we please have
Wherever
your
you want.
autograph before you
Perfect.
take off?
For sure.
Dave Rose, Colton Mahoney.
I'll sign right under Dave Rose.
Juddy hasn't been in studio yet, so he'll sign it.
No, he's been on the show a ton, but we've got to get him in studio.
Absolutely.
Morgan, thanks so much for the time. Good luck against the Huskies.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We appreciate the way you represent the university.
Thank you so much.